In this video, I'm going to do a few QA questions from our Accelerate course. The Accelerate course is practice questions from now onwards right till your CAT. Every day you get an exercise with 15 QA questions and 3 DILR sets. The details are in the description. The link is there. Read that up. Out of those 15 questions, I thought I'll bring 3 questions as free samples here, but then the questions in the exercise on 12th of August were so good that I ended up including 5 of these questions. So the video length is going to be a little longer. What you need to do is you need to pause the video as soon as a question is come up here. Try it yourself for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, up to 5 minutes if needed, and only then watch the solutions. I'm not going to remind you this every time. I'm going to be at a very brisk pace in the video, so do pause it and try, and only then watch the solutions. A very interesting question. There is a rectangular seating arrangement and every row has 12 supporters of CKS. Every column has 8 supporters, 3 seats are vacant. What is the minimum number? So it's a little googly type of a question. We could not figure out from what topic it is. There's something like a minimum also. So the way it goes about is the rectangular arrangement. We can think of it as R rows by C columns. And now coming to the data, every row had 12 supporters of CKS. So in R rows, there would be a total of 12 into R CKS supporters, right? Every column had 8 supporters of KRK. In one column, 8. So in C columns, there are going to be 8 into C KRK supporters. So just flow along with what's given. 3 seats were vacant. So these are supporters of CKS, supporters of KRK, and 3 are vacant. Right? So that's it. Now what you need to realize is this is a total number now of seats. There are 3 vacant seats also. This is the total number of people. This is the total number of seats. And what do I equate it to? I equate it to R into C. Because in a rectangular arrangement of R rows and R C columns, the total seats are R into C. So we get a pretty nice equation, an equation which has A into B, A and B terms. So from your theory, you should know. Now it makes a jump. It goes into how do you solve this? Knowing that R and C has to be natural numbers, right? R and C should be natural numbers. Rows and columns can't be fractions. If you have practiced well, you know this could be factorized into R minus something C into something this way, RC term. So that you have a minus 12R, this will be a minus 12R. So that you have a minus 8C, this will be a minus 8 into C. The constant term here becomes a plus 96. I don't have a plus 96, so put in a plus 96 on both sides. That plus 96 comes here. There's a 96 here, the 3 goes over there and it becomes a 99. This step, do it yourself, students, right? So this is one part, and this can be done so fast as I did. Now you would appreciate the meaning of this word minimum. This is going to have multiple solutions to it. From that, we need minimum number of spectators. So if I write the solutions, this term factorized, the factorized on this could be 1 and 99. Then the values of R and C. R will be 8 plus 1, 9. C will be 99 plus 12, 111. Now R into C is quite a large value. Whereas, why am I going to R into C? Because that is going to give me the number of spectators. Not exactly, but number of spectators would depend on R into C. I want minimum. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to try every possibilities, right? So I'll try to keep the numbers close together. That's 9 and 11. So if this is 9 and this is 11, R will be 9 plus 8, that is 17. C will be 11 plus 12, that's 23. 17 into 23 is 17 3s are 51, 5 carryover. 17 2s are 34 and 5 39. Now the number of spectators is this minus 3, which is 388, and 388 is there in the option, so I know that I'm going on the right way. But I still do not know whether this should be 11 or 9, or this should be 11 and that should be 9. So I'll try them both. I'll not sit in an exam and waste my time thinking of what theory and so on. Okay, so this gives me 11 plus 8, this is going to be a 19. 12 plus 9 is a 21. 19 into 21, you should know this, right? 20 minus 1, 20 plus 1. So that's going to be 399. What was that? 20 square minus 1 square. Okay. And 399 minus 3 would become 396. But this is larger. So this is the minimum value of the number of spectators. Now you might ask, what about how do we know the option also has values less than 388? Why not that? The only other way is this is 3 and 33, and if this is 33, 33 plus 12 is 55. 55 into 11 is a pretty large number. No, it's going to be 500 plus. And even if you interchange this becomes 33, this becomes 33 plus 8 is going to be a 41 into 15 is more than 600. So I don't think so the others are possible, right? So these were the only suspects. So I tried for both and I got my answer. This by now should be a standard question. However, students don't get used to it. So we have it here again. So two consecutive numbers are erased from consecutive natural numbers starting from 1. You need to do this check. Okay, so it's from 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Two numbers are erased and average of the remaining, this is just a fraction, becomes 64 by 3. So 64 by 3 decimal wise is 21.33. Okay, so this is around near the middle, because average is near the middle. And if 21.33 is in the middle, knowing that it starts from 1, you cannot ignore this. Okay, so from 1, middle is 22. So what this means is the end is near 42 or so. Approximately, you don't have to worry about 42.6666. The end. So it is written from 1 to round about 42. You also know that two numbers are erased. So n minus 2 is the number of observations at the end. When you divide something by the number of observations, you get the denominator to be 3. So n minus 2 is a multiple of 3. And it is in the vicinity of 42. So, a guesswork, a simple, a straightforward thing is 42 itself is a multiple of 3. So, you could say it is 42. So, if n minus 2 is 42, what is n going to be? Originally, it would have written till 1 to 44. So, the original average is going to be 1 plus 44 by 2. Okay, it's an AP from 1 to 44. So first term plus last term by 2. 45 by 2 is 22.5. Now can 22.5, when you erase two numbers, you are erasing two numbers, the maximum shift in average can only be 1. So 22.5 can least that it can come down to. Why am I talking of least? Because this is less than 22.5. The least the average can be is 21.5. But this is 21.33. So this is not the case, students. If this is not the case, it can't go beyond this. If you go beyond this, the average will still be more than this. So it is going to be less than this. The earlier multiple of 3 is 39. That means it was written till 41. Let's do a check. 42, 1 plus 41. 42, 21. Can 21 the least that it can be? Oh, so now the 21 is there and now the average is increasing. So we are reducing smaller numbers. We are erasing smaller numbers. So what's the maximum that the average can go to? 22. So can this be in this range? Yes, seems like. Okay, perfect, right? So I know that this is going to be the case. Look here, the next part is also very intelligent, and this thought I am speaking it very slow, or else you can do that very fast, students. This part also has a lot of value. So originally it was still 41. So the sum of all is 41 into 42 by 2. 42 by 2 is this. You erase the sum of two numbers and the average becomes this. Now look how intelligently we are working here. 21, 1 by 3. And how many numbers are there now? There are 39 numbers. Two numbers have been erased. I want to find this. Now, the way you could do this is you just split this as 1 by 3. Again, I am writing it, or else this could be just in your thoughts. 39 into 21 and 41 into 21 has 21 common. So take them this side. You will just be left with 2 into 21. 1/3 of 39 is 13. Other side goes 13. X goes to the other side. You get your x directly. This is 42. 32, 29. So x is 29. So remember, this is the sum of two numbers that we are erasing and they are consecutive. So half it, 14.5. So the numbers are 14 and 15. The question is required to find the product, and the product of this, again you should know this, students. 150 plus 60, 210 is the answer. In this question on mixtures, we start with the solution of milk and water. 20 liters is removed, 30 liters is added. Milk is added. So you need to focus on that it's milk which is added. So it's like removal and replacement. You can easily categorize this. This operation is done once again. You should also notice that the volume removed and added is different. So for every operation, it will increase by 10. Yeah, those things you should just gather while reading it. Now, finally, the total volume is 60 liters. So this is given in a little roundabout way. But what you should have understood from here itself is, if every time that it is done once, the volume increases by 10. So before doing the second time it would have been 50, and before doing it the first time it would have been 40. Now this should have come direct, students. So from 40 you would have removed 20. So it would have become 20. From 20 you would have added 30. It would have become 50. From 50 you would have removed 20. It would have been back to 30, and added 30. It would have become 60. And this total volume is necessary. You know this if you have learnt it, how to handle removal, replacement. This is a nice thing to have this chain of what is happening to the total volume. Because we are going to work in water, and remember, water is least change component. Let's read ahead, then we'll figure out how to work. And the amount of milk in the solution is 34 liters more than the amount of milk that was in the solution at the start. Find the amount of water in liters. So what you really see here is it's all amount of milk. Amount. So I'm going to work on amount of water. Okay, and I'm going to work on liters of water and not on water proportion. If you know these details, then the questions, such questions, removal, replacement, whatever twist they can put in, it becomes very easy if you are very versatile in your approach how to handle it. So here I'm not going to work on proportions because the data is not about proportion. I'll work on liters. And now look here, there's a very nice part here. I need to work on water, but the data is given about milk. So look here, the total volume has increased by 20 liters. But the milk volume in liters has increased by 34 liters. And now you should again be very comfortable here coming to the conclusion, and these are those important points, students, of logic, is the water volume. What would have happened? Think about it. It's not very difficult. You can take numbers also if you want. Take any numbers, then take any variables. You'll realize the total volume has to reduce by 14 liters. And once you know this, if all these thoughts come into your mind, work on water liters reduces by 14 liters, then it can be as fast as this. Water liters, water at the end is water liters. And remember, I'm again saying this is liters and liters, not proportion. When you are working on liters, you work on the removal part. Half the solution is removed. Half of water will also be removed. When you add milk, you don't work on water. It has no effect on water. Water is going to remain as it is. When you remove, what fraction is removed? 20 is removed out of 50. Okay, so 2/5 is removed. So 2/5 of water will remove. What will remain is 3/5 of water, which is nothing but this by this. You know, if your theory is very fast, it can be so fast, students. And then when you add, we have accounted for this. This does not affect liters of water. So this is your this. So water 2 divided by water 1 is nothing but 3/10. This is the ratio of final and initial, and you know the difference is 14 liters. So two numbers in the ratio, 3:4. Difference of 14. 7 is the difference, double it. This is going to be 6 liters and this is going to be 20 liters. So at start it is 20 liters, at end it is 6 liters. At end the answer is asking it is 6 liters. Here we have three people, Amar, Akbar, Anthony, starting from X at the same time. Very standard data, but it's always important to note it. And they're heading towards Y on a straight line. Amar reaches Y first, turns back and meets Akbar at a distance of 5 kilometers from Y. So what you should know is, from here, this picture should be in your mind through your practice. This is what one guy does and this is what other guy does. Right? So the sum of distance, so if I want to add them up, is going to become 2x. Right? And this we know is 5 from the other end. Similarly, when Akbar reaches Y, he turns back, meets Anthony at distance of 3 kilometers from Y. So you'll have similar situation, but this time the distance will be 3. Amar's speed is 200% more than Anthony's. Find the distance between them. So the distance between them is the question that is relevant. So I'll take my start from there. Now this is an interesting question. If you are comfortable with this sort of thing, it immediately directly comes down to the total distance is x. So one guy, the first one, Amar, travels a distance of x plus 5 all the way there and 5 more. And in the same time, Akbar, they both start simultaneously and they meet. Right? He turns back and meets. So Akbar has traveled x minus 5. So this is the ratio of the distances traveled, also that of the speeds. Actually, this is also the actual one, and so it could also be the ratio. Now, the same thing is given with Akbar and Anthony, so repeat it. So Akbar and Anthony, here it is just going to be Akbar is going to travel x plus 3, Anthony is going to travel x minus 3 in the same time. Because it's in the same time, this also becomes a ratio of speeds. And that is what this is given you, the ratio of speeds. But it is Amar to Anthony. So this is one ratio, this is another ratio. All you have to do is club the two ratios to get Amar to Anthony. Now a lot of people just, think your numbers are not there. If numbers are not there, what? These are numbers. They're just in variable form. So how do you make them equal? Multiply the first one by this, multiply the second one by this becomes common. I want this and this, so this is nothing but x plus 5 and this is x plus 3, right? This into this. And here I want to focus here, this into this is going to be x minus or x minus 5 into x minus 3. And this ratio for me is given to me. Now here also people make a mistake. This is 200% more. 200% more means the ratio is 3:1. And now it would be so foolish to open this out, write it down and so on. This is already written here. So people who spend time like this, x square plus 8x plus 15 divided by x square minus 8x, all this is a waste of time. The pencil works very slow. That is why the explanations here end up taking 3, 4, 5 minutes. Whereas actually if you think it can be done in just less than 2 minutes, right? These all are waste of time. This is what is written here. So this 3, all you do is multiply to the other side, this to this side and equate it. So when you have this is an x square plus 8x plus 15 is equated to multiply this with a 3. Or 3 times this is equal to this. That is the meaning of this ratio. Anyways, let's continue. Do the calculation bit yourself, what you want. So 3 times this is going to become 3x square minus 8x. 3 times is minus 24x plus 15 3 times is 45. Which rearrange 2x square. This is 32x. And this is 30. All are multiples of 2. So I am dividing by 2 also. X square minus 32 will become minus 16x plus 30 is going to become plus 15. A very standard quadratic. 15 ones are 15, the sum. So this x can be 1 or 15. Now the total distance can't be 1 because the distance between them is more than 3 or 5. So you'll rule this out and 15 is the answer. We have x, y and z to be in a harmonic progression. All are positives, x, y, z, and x, y, z is in an increasing order. So, and we also have 6x, 10y, 16z in a GP. So the first one is about an harmonic progression. So if I want to use them, the idea is this is the relation between harmonic progression, or you could even use the ready-made formula, that is y is equal to 2xz over x plus z. But then it is a little tough to use these. So the second data is about a geometric progression. And in a geometric progression, what do I have? I have middle term square. Middle term square is 6x into 16z. Now solving these two equations seems very difficult. Also, the question is asking us about the common ratio. So we don't even have the common ratio here. So I think a better start, and it's something that you would have seen earlier also, is you can't do much with the harmonic progression. We haven't learned. So it's again futile to say, hey, harmonic progression, I don't know. Whatever is there is here. You don't need to know anything beyond this because there isn't. So, but you know about a geometric progression. No? So I could have changed, instead of using this relation, I could have used that. Let this be A. The second term 10y is AR and third term 16z is AR square. So what this does is I have changed from 3 variables x, y, z to just 2 variables of a geometric progression, A and R. And R has also come into the picture. And the moment I see this, the answer ahead is very clear, right? X, Y, Z in terms of AR, and then plug it in over here. So that's it. So this is how problem solving is built up. So let's plug in. So I'm not writing what is x and so on. So I'm just writing what is y, AR by 10. So AR by 10 is equal to 2 times x into z. X is a by 6 into z. Z is AR square by 16. AR square by 16. This whole thing divided by x plus z. X plus z. So that is a by 6 plus a r square by 16. You do the work yourself. In fact, I've given you the start. You should be finishing it off on your own. You don't need anything here. So when I take the sum, these are fractions. I want to get rid of 6 and 16. So I'll take the LCM as 6 into 16, which will go in the numerator. 16 times a plus 6 times a r square. Are we good? Yes. So the 6 and 16 get cancelled out. The a from here, this a cancels out this a cancels out these a. So the a has gone out of the system. Only r is left, and that is how my answer I'll be getting. Okay. So what else can I cancel? The 2 over here will make this an 8, will make this a 3. And there's nothing common between 8 and 3 to cancel with a 10. So let's cross multiply. This might look very dirty for you guys because I know what numbers are moving where. You do your work and it should be okay. So there's an r over here multiplied. There's nothing left here. So that's 8r. R square into r is a cube. Oh, this is going into a cubic, 3r cube. And here there's nothing left. R square is left with a 10. So that's a 10r square. Now we see r at all places. So either r is equal to 0 or. Now, yeah, or you can cancel the r and this becomes a quadratic. So that takes care of the cubic also. 3r square minus 10r plus 8. Now if r is 0, the common ratio is 0, that means y will become 0, z will become 0. So this is not possible. So you could divide by r and reach here. This is a simple quadratic. It is asking you the sum of all possible values. So one thought will simply become the sum of the roots of this is nothing but negate b by a. So 10 by 3. Right? But is this a theta type question? Yes, this is a theta type question. So unlikely that it's going to have a decimal answer. So there must be something more hidden over here. So solving it is not difficult. 3 8s are 24. This is a sum, students. 24. Sum should be 10. So that's 6 and 4. Now you have to be fast over here, students. 6 and 4. So minus 6 minus 4 in the factorized form. In the root form, plus 6 plus 4 divide by 3 plus 6 by 3 is a 2. Or 4 by 3. So again, so if you add this, you're going to get the 10 by 3. But then I don't think so the answer is this. So there must be something more here. And that is where this is a little tricky towards the end. This relation is not just saying that it's an increasing order or so on. So if I want 10y to be more than, or rather x to be more than y is ar by 10. Is more than x, a by 6, a can be cancelled. This tells me r is more than 5 by 3. So if r is more than 5 by 3, this gets eliminated. R cannot be 4 by 3. And let's just see whether this also gets eliminated. So let's do the other case also. Z is more than y. So z is ar square by 16 is more than y. ar by 10. So the a cancels out, the r cancels out, and you get r is more than 8 by 5. 8 by 5 is 1.6. Right? So that is, so 2 will work, and this is the only possible value of r. So the sum is going to be 2.